It's time for Be in the Driver's Seat with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and mental health expert, Dr. Teresa Moore. A Saturday morning mix of cars, credit, and wellness created just for you.
Brought to you by Joe Lunghammer Chevrolet of Waterford.
Plan your next vehicle purchase or get your credit rolling in the right direction with Regina today. And now, Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and Dr. Teresa Moore.
Good morning. Good morning. You are listening to Be in the Driver's Seat. Happy Saturday morning. Good morning, Dr. T.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday.
Always super excited about when we get a chance to talk to our audience and they get a chance to listen to us and we get a chance to share information. And I'm just also, let me just say, I'm super excited about the shows we got coming up. Let's just get into that, right? We have Mackenzie Ford that's going to be on next week. We have a new segment we're going to be rolling out every month. Super excited about that because she's 19 years old.
She is.
And she's running with the big dogs like us.
Yeah, she'll be 20 soon, too. Her birthday's coming in December.
Matter of fact, I think she's having like a, well, I'm telling everybody, yeah, she'll be 20 soon. I was going to say something else.
Happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday to you.
Mackenzie.
Happy birthday to you, Mackenzie. I am going on tour with Janet Jackson.
Listen, okay, so while I'm excited about Regina because we have youth destined for success. So YDFS. So BIDS is having youth destined for success. And Mackenzie Lee is going to be on that segment.
Yes. But you know,
hosting that segment, right?
Yes, she is. She's co-hosting with us. Yes, she is. But in the second half of our show today, we have, I think, is this our third segment or our third month with, what's the name of our segment for that?
The Millenniums on the Move.
The Millenniums on the Move.
I'm excited.
Yes.
So this is our third segment with the Millenniums on the Move. We have Shay McKether, the glamorous rebel.
Yes.
And we have Sierra Warren, that she's the cake boss. Okay? She's
the cake boss.
The cake boss. So I'm excited today.
You know what? I'm super excited too because the first segment of the show is, first of all, we got to give a, let's pray for the Carr family. Irene, is it Carr?
It's
Kara.
Kara.
Irene Kara.
Yeah.
She's she actually wrote. She was in Fame. Now, she wasn't in the show Fame, but she had a lot to do with Fame.
Yes. So she was one of the writers.
Well, she was one of the writers, I believe, with Debbie Allen. Yeah. And then also, she actually co-wrote Flashdance. Yeah. If everybody remember, if you've been around for years like we have, remember Flashdance. So shout out to her family. All day. Shout out to her family. Yeah. Yes.
And we just want to pay homage to all of those that passed on. It's that season we just celebrated Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So we want to, from our hearts to yours, we want you to know that we're thinking about you in this season and we asking the blessing of the Lord upon you.
Yes. Asking the blessings. But so super excited about this segment coming up because this segment is dear to me because people make two major purchases in their life. Yeah. One, they say most of the time it's supposed to be a car, right? Mm-hmm. And then they say it's a house, but it's one, a car is supposed to be because it's cheaper than a house. But now these days, depends on what kind of car you're buying, the house might be cheaper than the car. Yeah. But with the Queen, the car is cheaper than the house, right? But in your life, you make two major purchases, a house and a car. And another segment that we're rolling out, we started this segment, October? Was it October or was it November?
We started in October.
Oh, October. And we're going to be discussing mortgages. We haven't came up with that segment title yet, right?
Not yet.
We're waiting for the Lord to bring it to you?
Oh, exactly. So I'm sure we'll have something soon. So I look forward to having a creative title for the mortgages.
Yes. And so when I think about mortgages, I remember when I bought my first home, I didn't know what I was doing. Young, credit score was, right? I was sitting on like maybe a 560 or 580 because I didn't know no better, right? Because one thing what I did was I didn't let my dad and my mom, my dad know I was purchasing a house. And I was being slick, right? I was in my 30s, late 20s, right? And I was being slick. I didn't want no help. And I went to a bank and I got laughed out of the bank. It was Republic Bank on Woodward, on the corner of Woodward and Long Lake. And when you know where that is?
I do.
Okay, so I don't know if they're still there, but I went in and I said I want to get a mortgage. She laughed me so far out the seat. She was like, "Well, ma'am, let me pull your credit." And she came back and she said, "Your credit score is this, ma'am. You know, we can't do that type of financing here." And so then I went to MBD, which now Chase, right? Got laughed out of there. And then I finally came across a broker almost 2 years later. And one thing what I want to be highlighted today is I want people to know the difference with a broker, versus a bank, because you have more options with a broker.
You do.
But let's go ahead and bring our guests on this morning. We have Alan Garbacik.
Yes.
Of Stockton Mortgage.
Yes, I'm excited too. So these are the experts in the building. So Alan is in the building, and we have Brenda D. Davis in the building.
Yes.
From Century 21 Town and Country. So
the realtor that moves you.
She wanted to take that from me, y'all. I wanted to say the rest of
She doesn't want me to call. I was instructed this morning I couldn't call her by her middle name. I didn't really feel that and like that, but you gotta respect. I gotta respect Brenda, the realtor that moves you. I love her dearly because her daughter, Shay McCaffrey, is following her on the segment, right? So we got all love. But now we have to the family whose extended family is Alan. He don't know he's been put in the family, right?
All right.
He's with the women, and you know what happens when you're a woman, we have all these type of personalities. We might be okay one minute, next minute we might want to hit you in the head, next minute we might want to hit you over the head with a pen, next minute we might be smiling in your face, right?
Listen, shout out to Alan, okay? Because Alan blew right on in this morning.
He did. He blew right on in. So,
good morning, Alan.
Good morning, Alan.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for having us again.
So Alan, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. Always just so great to see family and hang out and stuff your face.
So Alan, if you could just come a little bit closer to that microphone.
Sure.
Just a little bit closer. I know I said that on air, but just a little bit closer.
Listen, Alan, you have such a beautiful baby. So I know Thanksgiving was even more special. Your beautiful baby and your wife. So yeah, I'm so glad that you were able to enjoy that.
I got my workout in yesterday, shopping, doing some Black Friday weekend shopping, and running around the store chasing after them while my wife did all the shopping. So.
You're still doing Black Friday shopping on the week after Thanksgiving?
I barely talked to my wife this weekend. She was on her phone and on the computer all weekend.
Well, Brenda Denise Davis, good morning.
Good morning. How's everyone? Hope you had a great holiday weekend.
I don't know. I'm a little different because you told me don't call you by your middle name, but I'll just make sure when I see you in person, every time I'm around somewhere else, I'm going to call you by your full name.
You'll get over it. It'll be okay.
She said I'll get over it.
So bad.
She spoiled me. She spoiled. Yeah, she did spoil the queen.
I have. And she spoils me too. But you know what? I had such a great holiday weekend to the point where I've lost my voice. So please bear with me today because this voice of mine is fading quickly. I had dinner at my oldest daughter's house on Thursday, and then I always have to have food at home, so I prepared that on Friday. I was fortunate enough to have attended the farewell dinner for Brenda Lawrence, Congresswoman who's retiring.
Yeah.
And that was a wonderful event.
Oh,
I'm very
wow,
happy
okay.
to have been a part of that. She's a fantastic lady. Wish you very, very much success and many blessings to come in the future. Congresswoman, you have been just a blessing to so many, and you have been the voice for so many.
Okay, so Dr. Let me ask you a question. Is Brenda D. Davis a co-host today? She giving all these shout-outs to everybody?
I think
Should
so.
I? Okay, all right.
But
You're
that's
right.
that spoilness.
Yeah, she's spoiled.
So
She is
we
spoiled.
excited.
She
So
is. She is.
Let's get in the show. Let's get in the show, Regina. Let's get to the show.
So, Alan, what are we talking about today? But I got one question. This is from one of our viewers that actually sent us an email to be in the driver's seat at gmail.com, and that's be in the driver's seat at gmail.com. What's that number, though? What number are we using? Were we using just how are they getting in contact with us?
They're doing it via email.
Oh, via email. Be in the driver's seat
At gmail.com.
at gmail.com. And if you want me, because you can just Google me. But can you tell everybody before you get into your topic, one of the viewers wanted to know, what's the difference between a broker and a bank?
So I'll add one more into that. Broker, lender, and bank.
Okay.
A bank is going to take your deposits. They're going to give you different types of loans. They're going to give you mortgages. They usually keep that mortgage and only have one source of shopping for interest rates, costs, and fees. A broker is somebody on the other end that only does mortgages. They actually send all of your documents in your file to a bank that they choose, and they're able to shop it around and find the best rate and everything for you and send it to that bank. And then that bank does, or that lender does all the work for the file. We at Stockton Mortgage, we're a direct lender. So we're in between. We have our own mortgages that we lend out money for, so that we keep them as Stockton Mortgage mortgages. And then we also have a good dozen to 18 different banks that we can actually shop you around to as well outside of that. So we lend money directly to you. We do the whole process, underwriting, processing, everything right in house.
So I want to call that like a kind of like a one-stop shop because of the options that a person would have, and it's very important. I hope you guys got your pen and paper and was taking notes on that. But always remember, if you miss our show, listening to it live on Saturday morning from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m., you can always go to beindthedriverseat.com and listen to our show afterward. So super excited to let you know that. But no, thanks for explaining that. What's our topic today? What are we talking about today?
So, Brendan and I were talking about some pertinent topics for the mortgage and real estate industry. And I think what we wanted to do is kind of go over the handful of different mortgage types that we can use to get you that house. And Brenda's side of it, because she does the real estate side, right? So when she lists a house, or any of her real estate agents that she works with lists a house, they collect offers from different clients with different terms, different types of mortgages. We wanted to go over kind of why certain mortgages are better than other mortgages when you're competing against other people making offers on houses.
Okay, so talk to us a little bit about that. Like, why is that important? So I know you both have your own perspective places that you work in, but why is that important? As a listener right now, why would that be important to me?
So there's different mortgage products that we offer. They all have different reasons why we use those products.
Okay.
And if we have the option to give you either an FHA mortgage or a conventional mortgage, if you're qualified for both an FHA mortgage and a conventional mortgage, you should be choosing the conventional mortgage 9 times out of 10.
Okay, so Alan, thank you so much. We're going to take a break right now, and we'll be right back after the commercials.
Because Joe Longhammer just called and he said, take a break, pay some bills. Regina, the Queen of Car Loans here with Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. If you're looking to get into a new or used vehicle with affordable rates, I can get you financed today. My lenders are making unheard of deals where others are simply cannot. This month, ladies, I'm hooking you up with hair and makeup from Glamorous Rebel Hair and Beauty in Sterling Heights for the first 10 people who buy a new or used car from me. You'll be riding in style with the Queen, Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. Just Google Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Are you sinking farther and further in debt? Tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Facing garnishment, repossession, or foreclosure? Thinking of filing bankruptcy but still have questions? Call Lewis Law at 248-785-3780. Attorney Lewis has over 20 years of experience handling Chapter 7 and 13 bankruptcies. The bankruptcy code is complicated, and you need an experienced attorney to guide you through the process. We can take care of your bankruptcy and probate needs. Call Lewis and Law, 248-785-3780. We are a debt relief agency. We can help people people file for bankruptcy under U.S. Bankruptcy Code. Paid non-attorney spokesperson.
My name is Marilyn Walker, and I am your advocate attorney. For over 25 years, I've helped your friends and neighbors by providing solid legal advice and strategy during difficult times. My clients will tell you that I am experienced, knowledgeable, caring, and reasonable. If divorce, custody, support, or visitation are critical issues facing you, stop worrying and call me, Marilyn Walker, the advocate attorney, at 248-332-2227. Allow a skillful lawyer to advocate for you.
We're back, and you're still listening to Be in the Driver's Seat. I am Regina, the queen of car loans.
And I'm Dr. T. Happy Saturday.
And we have...
Alan Garbacik, Stockton Mortgage. Happy Saturday.
And we have...
And Brenda D. Davis, Century 21 Town and Country, and Century 21 Sackmar. Happy Saturday.
And the realtor that moves you. So Alan, let's talk about FHA. What is a FHA mortgage?
So an FHA mortgage, a lot of people come to me and they say that's their first-time mortgage, first-time home buyer mortgage. It's not necessarily. It could be a fit for really anybody that's out there looking for a mortgage. So an FHA mortgage is a government-backed mortgage that is built for somebody that maybe has a little bit higher of a debt-to-income ratio, maybe has a little bit lower of a credit score, that cannot qualify for a conventional mortgage for some of those reasons.
So let's get in early. How would a person reach you? If they wanted to reach you, how would they reach you? What's your office number? Because I want to say this early because people start early and they need to be able to find you, because what happens is what people do is they contact us. They either Google me, look me up, or they even send an email and they say, how do I get in touch with this person, blah, blah, blah. So...
Of course. My office number, direct line to me is 248-582-6680. I know you're going to ask for it again. 248-582-6680.
Okay. Go ahead. Continue about
Yes.
the FHA.
Well, so as I was saying before the break, too, there's a conventional mortgage and then there's an FHA mortgage. Brenda will explain a little bit more on the purchase side of it, why it's a little bit better to have a conventional mortgage. But on the FHA mortgage, it's a great fit for a lot of good clients out there. And there's some stigmas against FHA mortgages when you're out looking for a house, when you're making an offer on a house. And I'm here to tell you that those stigmas, they should not have any concern over it, because FHA, it's relatively easy to be qualified for an FHA mortgage, and sellers should be a lot more comfortable accepting offers with FHA mortgages than they actually are.
Credit score. I mean, that's the biggest thing what people want to know. Back when I know my first loan ended up being an FHA. So because of my credit score was low, and I was inexperienced because I didn't know the knowledge that I had now, but then I didn't have the knowledge because I didn't seek the knowledge. I didn't ask for help. I just got out there on my own, and I didn't involve my parents. But what's a typical credit score? Is there still a certain score you need to be at for FHA?
So with an FHA mortgage, we lend directly to, or we sell our loans directly to FHA. It's actually Ginnie Mae, but FHA. Because of that, we don't have any overlays. FHA has no minimum credit score.
So you can have a 550 or 525. So
There is no minimum credit score for FHA.
So if you have a bankruptcy discharge 6 months ago, do you qualify for FHA?
No.
Okay.
We do have some other rules
So
that we
a year,
have to follow.
2 years?
It's 3 years on a Chapter 7. Once you're discharged, you have to wait 3 years, I believe it is. 99% sure.
Okay.
And it's 4 years for conventional. With FHA, there's no minimum credit score. There's a profile of your credit that FHA is going to look at. So they're going to look at, are you making your payments on time? Are you, let's say you are at a 540 credit score. Are you working your way towards a 560, a 580 with your past monthly payments that you've made. And if that's the case, then you may very well be qualified with a rather low credit score like that.
Well, Alan, that's interesting. Most people, they've heard of FHA. And most people that I know, they have FHA loans. And I know you said that it should be more, I guess, pushed instead of conventional. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
No, I'm not saying that you should do an FHA rather than a conventional. If you can qualify for a conventional, you should do a conventional mortgage.
Okay.
One of the downfalls of FHA is that majority of the time you have to pay PMI, private mortgage insurance, for the whole life that you have that FHA mortgage.
Wow.
Most of the time. That's one of the downfalls of having an FHA mortgage. So if you are qualified or if you're borderline qualified for a conventional, we should work our way into a conventional mortgage for you.
So we're going to go ahead and pass them.
A lot of people are thinking about buying. So I have a question, Alan. Now, mentioning the PMI, private mortgage insurance, I've always been told that if you're approved FHA and you have to have the private mortgage insurance, that after you get 20% equity in your home, that private mortgage insurance can be dropped. Is that still the case? Because, and from what I understand also, is that the lender is not always going to let you know when you reach that 20%, because it's more to their advantage that you continue to pay for that PMI.
Well, that's a great question.
We want our listeners to know that once you reach that 20% equity, which really in my mind equates to the 20% down that is required on a conventional mortgage, that you can contact your lender and have them drop that. So you need to really pay attention to what kind of equity you're building in your home over the years so that you can eliminate that cost.
That's a great question, Brenda D. Davis. Wow.
Well, Brenda, I have another question though. So can it be years from now? Say for instance, if you do not know that after the PMI after 20% is paid, can it be 15 years later? And you say, you know what, I'm still paying PMI. Can you remove this?
I'm sure that that's possible, and they may even go back and make that retroactive to whatever point in time that you actually reach that 20% equity. I'm going to let Alan speak a little bit more on that because I don't want to give you misleading information. But you really want to pay attention because, that's money in the bank for you once you reach that 20% in equity in your home.
Let me say one thing before Alan says that. And I'm glad you said that because I have fought with a lender that I had when I had an FHA, and I was going off. I really was going off. I was like, no, you need to do this. But they want you to keep paying. They want you to. They don't. And they'll give all these reasons why they shouldn't, especially if you're dealing with a servicing lender. If the lender and you dealing with somebody that's servicing your lender, then they trying to get all that money. But go ahead. Sorry.
So here's what I'll tell you. On a conventional mortgage, if you build up 20% equity, you can call the bank and ask them to remove PMI. On an FHA mortgage, that's not true. If you put a small down payment down, then you have to pay PMI for the whole 30 years, the whole lifespan of that mortgage, unless you refinance and get a conventional mortgage.
Yeah.
If you put a larger down payment down, then you can have PMI for maybe a 10 or 11-year period.
Well,
it goes away.
So mine's a conventional mortgage, and I did this years ago in one of my other homes, but now mine's a conventional mortgage, and I'm fighting with my at my condo. I'm fighting with my mortgage company right now. We're going back and forth, and I got an attitude with them, and I also have attitude with them because, in short, the taxes in the area. I know that the values have dropped. When they dropped and then all of a sudden they went up, I said, you guys are charging me too much. I've done my assessment what the taxes are. Then the next thing, about a year and a half later, I got money back saying that. And my mortgage payment has dropped twice because they were collecting too much money. I know they want to be confident, but stay out of my pocket, right? I'm sorry, you want to say something, Brenda? I'm done.
Yeah,
on that
I
part.
did. I want to get back to the conventional. Now, I know things have changed over the years because there was a point in time where if you didn't have 20% down, you wouldn't qualify for a conventional mortgage. I know that things have changed somewhat now where you can still get a conventional approval with as little as 5% down, sometimes less than that. Is that correct?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. You could go down to 3% down on a conventional mortgage. So it's very affordable on that side of it to be able to get into a conventional mortgage when you're buying a house. Let me sneak back to the PMI conversation real quick, too. With a conventional mortgage, if you put 3% down, we could use some really easy numbers here. Can we use numbers?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes, of course.
Let's do this. You buy a house for $100,000. You put 3% down. That gives you a mortgage of $97,000. If you pay that mortgage down to what's actually $78,000, that's 78% of what you purchased that house for, your PMI will automatically go away.
Wow.
Automatically. Some lenders will require you to pay the PMI for the first year or the first 2 years, no matter what you do. But most of them, you pay that down, they will get rid of the PMI.
Real quick question for you, Alan. Now, that PMI with regards to a conventional mortgage, does that only apply if you put less than 20% down?
Yes, majority of the time, if you put less than 20% down, then you will be stuck with PMI, at least for a period of time. So, Brenda, I know we were talking about this for some specific reasons. On the real estate side of it, do you want to share when you have a listing, when you're listing a house, what do you look for in different offers that you get from different people that are trying to buy that house?
Well, most certainly the thing that I would discuss with either side, the buyer or homeowner, would be the stableness and the professionalism and ethical standards of the lender that's involved. I don't concern myself too much whether or not it's FHA or conventional, although I know that homeowners do. And they do because of the old stigma that if you got an FHA-approved buyer, then you were going to have to jump through hoops in order to get your house approved and ready for the sale because the FHA appraiser/inspector was going to come to your house and give you a list of repairs and things that had to be made. I have found, for years now, that FHA appraisers and inspectors are not as stern as they used to be. There was a time if you had a crack in your sidewalk, they wouldn't approve the loan. You had to have the crack repaired.
Wow.
If you had a little bit of peeling paint on your garage, you had to have that repaired. It's been my experience with FHA appraisers and inspectors. They look for safety issues. They don't just come in and, you've got to fix this and you've got to fix that. And they usually do a pretty fast inspection. They don't go in there and with a flashlight and just look in every nook and cranny. They go in, if you have some outlets, GFI outlets that aren't there, which are the outlets that you're supposed to have over your sinks and things, they're going to gig you for that. If it's something major, then you're going to have that repaired. But an FHA mortgage is one that I would not frown at or tell my client, hey, don't accept this because it's an FHA buyer. You'll find that I think a pretty high percentage of the buyers today are FHA approved.
All right. So will you have any last words you want to give our listeners this week? Because I know you're going to be joining us every first Saturday every month.
Perfect. Yeah, Brenda, that's why Brenda's such an amazing real estate agent. She does not discriminate like that. Our firm actually has been in touch with regulators about the fact that pre-approvals right now need to have, if it's FHA, if it's conventional, if it's VA, whatever that type of loan is. And we don't think that's right to have that on there.
That's great. How do they reach you again, please, Alan?
Sure. Stockton Mortgage, 248-582-6688. 6680.
And repeat it one more time for the people in the back and the front, please.
Sure. 248-582-6680.
Brenda D. Davis, how can they reach you, please?
I'm at 248-909-9711. That's 248-909-9711. It's really great being here with Alan today. As I mentioned before, I look for reputable lenders, and I've had some dealings with Stockton. Alan is a great guy to contact.
So thank you so much, Brenda and Alan, for joining us today on Being the Driver's Seat. So you heard it here. We'll be right back for a station identification break.
Regina, the Queen of Car Loans here with Joe Hammer Chevrolet. If you're looking to get into a new or used vehicle with affordable rates, I can get you financed today. My lenders are making unheard of deals where others simply cannot. This month, the first 10 people who buy a new or used car from me will get a $75 gift card to Times Square Men's Custom Suits on Livernois Avenue. Suits for all occasions. Ride in style with the Queen. Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. Just Google Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Regina, the Queen of Car Loans here with Joe Hammer Chevrolet. If you're looking to get into a new or used vehicle with affordable rates, I can get you financed today. My lenders are making unheard of deals where others are simply cannot. This month, ladies, I'm hooking you up with hair and makeup from Glamorous Rebel Hair and Beauty in Sterling Heights for the first 10 people who buy a new or used car from me. You'll be riding in style with the Queen, Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. Just Google Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
We're back, and you're still listening to DB in the drive. I say DB in the driver's seat. I'm one of the hosts, and I'm Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. And you are who?
Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. T.
So you know what? Let's introduce our next segment, Dr. T.
So we got the millennials on the move. I'm so excited. This is the third segment with the millennials on the move. So we have Shay McKether, who is the glamorous rebel. Good morning, Shay.
Good morning.
And we have Sierra Warren, who is the owner of Delicious Sweets Bake Shop. Good morning, Sierra.
Good morning. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
So that's your daughter. Can you just acknowledge that? That's your baby girl.
That is
do I
my
have to
baby
remind you
girl.
that every once a month?
Listen, she can hold her own. This is my baby, everybody. So Sierra is my one and only living child. So shout out to Sierra Warren.
But wait a minute, let's chop it up for a second. So I was talking to Dr. T on last Saturday before we went to Dr. Dorinda Clark Cole 20th year anniversary, right?
Yeah, for her album release.
And so I said, what are you doing? I think we want to leave a little earlier. And Dr. T said, I'm playing with my daughter. And I thought to myself, you playing with your daughter? I'm calling you out.
I said, my baby.
She playing with her baby.
That's what I said.
Sarah ain't two no more.
Listen, Sierra was snapping pictures of me. I was the gift under the Christmas tree.
Oh, my word. Oh, my word. I just can't believe you.
Listen.
So what is Sierra talking about today?
So Sierra's talking about keeping the momentum. Come on, Sierra. Let's get started. Let's talk about keeping the momentum when sales are low.
Okay, so today we're talking about keeping the momentum when sales are low. And I think it's important to talk about this because I think people have this false reality of, I'm going to start this business and I'm going to make a bunch of sales, I'm going to make a bunch of money, and I'm going to make my own schedule and everything is going to be great. However, that is not the reality. So in business, you're going to have times where you're super busy, the demand is high, you're selling out. But then you're going to have those slow seasons where sometimes you might even question, am I really supposed to be doing this? So I want to talk about what to do when sales are low, how to keep the momentum. And I believe that the slow season really tests you to see if you're made, for entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. So, yes, that's what we're talking about today.
Yes, that's so true. That definitely is a factor for business owners that I think that when you're first starting out, you in the beginning you have so much momentum, so much motivation, you have so many ideas, but during those slow seasons it's very easy to get discouraged and to question if your particular field is really for you, and that is what kind of determines if you're going to be successful in that particular industry or not, is the perseverance behind what you're doing.
Wow. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Sierra, give us some keys. I'm excited to hear what you have to say. I got my pen and my paper out.
Oh, me too. Why are we both over here taking notes from the millenniums?
Yeah,
What?
I think it's good. I think it's good for the queen to be taking notes because, I mean, I know the queen is selling these cars left and right, but I'm pretty sure there's a time where you like to sell more.
Amen.
And same thing for you, Dr. T, with the books and everything else, you know. So a couple things that I do and things that I would recommend when sales are low. One, I would say go back to your purpose. And I think this is really good for your mental because when things are slow, like we were just talking about, you may question if this is really what you should be doing. And you have to go back to your purpose and why you decided to do it in the first place. And that will help keep you grounded and remember why you started. And once you have remembered your purpose, then you need to look at your advertising and your marketing strategy. Now, in 2022, we have so many free platforms where you can advertise your products. Especially like TikTok nowadays, you can literally make a video of what you have to offer and people can see it all over the world. So I would absolutely recommend that you go back to your advertising and your marketing strategy and see who you're advertising to. Who have you reached out to in the past that you can follow up with that did not turn into a sale the first time?
Yes, follow
So
up.
like for you, the queen, you know, if you have people that come in and they're looking for cars and they decide not to get one, maybe during your slow season, you go back to that list of people that did not turn into a sale and you follow up with them and offer them a deal or give them something great or reason to come in so that you can sell them a car.
Yeah, I love that you said that because what I do now is, you know, you get a daily text by me. And then if you buy a car from me, you're taking out the system. We're not taking out the system, but you put that you got delivered. But if you haven't, I'm still going to stay in your mind because you're going to get a text from me 3 or 4 times a week. Just because. Even if you ignore it, you're still going to get it unless you block me, right? And that's automatically generated once I push a button, automatically. And that's the great thing I love about my CRM at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet.
That's good. So, Shay.
Yeah, and that's great. That's great that you said that because a lot of times when, business owners, they feel like they're being pushy or they don't want to reach out to people. But sometimes that's what keeps that, like you said, it keeps you on their mind. So they may forget or they may want to follow up and they don't. But those constant follow-ups keeps you on their mind. And then, oh, I need a car. I'm going to the queen. She sent me a text message 5 times this week.
And to follow back on what you were saying about going back to your purpose and writing down things. I know for me personally, you know, I have a journal, and I also have I have a program that allows me to see my analytics and see the things that people are more interested in. Out of the services that I provide, as well as things that we talked about. You know, I write notes on each of my clients, so I know the things that we've talked about in the past. So that allows you to feel more comfortable when you're thinking about your purpose. It allows you to come from a genuine place, for one, because you're believing and understanding the purpose behind your brand. And it allows you to reach out to those people and know what you're talking about. You know, you can't just reach out to people that you've never really said anything to about, or if it didn't really seem like you knew what you were talking about. You know, it's going to be harder for you to want to reach out to those people. So definitely just being more mindful of your analytics, pretty much is what I'm saying. Understanding who you're servicing.
This is so good. So, Sierra and Shay, you both can answer this, but, during those slow times, is that a time to get creative?
Yes.
To just maybe, maybe you need to do a sale, or maybe not, do something specific, like have days that, on Monday, for instance, Shay, on Monday you get maybe $25 off of services, or Sierra, maybe on Wednesday you buy one cupcake, get another one free. Like in those slow times, is that a time to just go back and look at, and this is part of marketing too, right? To push people into the doors, right? So is that a time that you go back and really look at how can I get people in on slower days?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a time for you to get creative and to really tap into what brought you to that field in the first place. And I know for me, we have all family and friends, we have nieces and nephews and things like that. And in the beauty industry, it's easy to reach out to people who are around you and, say, hey, let me try this on you. And they, for the most part, will love it. Like, I don't know any person that doesn't love a free service.
I love it.
And it's even better because even if you can do it for a friend, you're still giving back. You're still doing something out of the kindness of your heart, and that's okay. Sometimes when you're in a business industry, you have to be willing to not always make a profit.
Talk about that.
Well, you know what I just want to say is what's been great for me. What's
when you first starting
out. What's great for me is you always got to be working.
Yeah.
Even when you don't want to be working, know that if you're somewhere, just like we were at the church on last Saturday, like a week ago, and we had our picture because we were a sponsor at Dr. Brenda Cole event. And so we just have to know that our face is now on another level now. We took pictures with her. It was on her Facebook page. She had 450 pages.
Page.
Right, 450 people that liked it, right? Yeah. So what I'm saying is you always got to be working. People got to know what you do. Whatever you do, people have to know. What you do.
That's good. But Sierra, I wanted to ask you this though. So a life of a baker is very different. So what time do you start? Because I know you always have to be working if your staff don't show up. What does that look like for a baker?
So baker's hours are typically between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. And I mean, that's the start time. So one of the reasons is because when you're baking things fresh and when you're baking things from scratch, they take time. So you need time to prepare. You need cool time. You have to make frostings. There's so much that goes into it. So being a baker, I usually start my day about 4 o'clock in the morning. And then if it's during the week, I may end about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But if it's the weekend, there's no telling what time I get off work because my peak time during the week is Friday through Sunday. Yeah. So that means on Friday, if I start at 4 a.m., I may not get done until 8 p.m. because I could have a wedding or I could have a lot of orders. So I love what Regina said about you always have to be working.
Okay,
so regardless of if you're
Sierra, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back to that, okay?
And we're going to finish up. We're going to take a quick break, but we're going to come back with you. We want you. Can you join us for our next part with Shay?
The Glamorous Rebel.
Can you join us with that?
Yeah.
You can? Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be right back after this break.
Regina, the Queen of Carlones here with Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. If you're looking to get into a new or used vehicle with affordable rates, I can get you financed today. My lenders are making unheard of deals where others simply cannot. This month, the first 10 people who buy a new or used car from me will get a $75 gift card to Times Square Men's Custom Suits on Livernois Avenue. Suits for all occasions. Ride in style with the Queen. Regina, the Queen of Carlones. Just Google Regina, the Queen of Carlones.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Looking to buy or sell your home? Whether you're relocating to Michigan from another state or another country, moving across town, upgrading, or downsizing, Brenda D. Davis from Century 21 Town and Country Real Estate is your locally known home purchase expert. Buying or selling your home is a complex process. Let Brenda simplify it every step of the way. Brenda D. Davis, the realtor that moves you. Call 248-909-9711 and get moving on your new home purchase or sale today. That's 248-909-9711. 609-9711. Call now. My name is Marilyn Walker, and I am your advocate attorney. For over 25 years, I've helped your friends and neighbors by providing solid legal advice and strategy during difficult times. My clients will tell you that I am experienced, knowledgeable, caring, and reasonable. If divorce, custody, support, or visitation are critical issues facing you, stop worrying and call me, Marilyn Walker, the advocate attorney, at 248-332-2227. Allow a skillful lawyer to advocate for you.
We're back, and we're still talking to Sierra, the baker. What you call Sierra, the boss? The cake boss. The cake boss. What's her name though? Is that her
Delicious Sweets Bake
I know
Shop.
that Delicious Sweet
Sierra,
Bake
what's your
Shop.
name?
Is it so she gonna be? You want to call her the cake boss now?
No, what you known for, C?
I am the master baker and cake decorator at Delicious Sweets Bake Shop.
Okay. And how do our listeners reach you?
Well, you can find me on Facebook at Delicious Sweets Bake Shop, as well as Instagram, Delicious Sweets Bake Shop, and you can order on there as well.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so Sierra, before we left, you were talking about the hours of a baker. So kind of tell us, what that looks like and what you have going on right now.
So I was just piggybacking on what Regina said about you have to always be working. So yes, baker's hours are early, but regardless of what time it is, there's always work to be done. So going back to when it's slow, you have to always be working, whether that may be being creative and finding new ways to get people in the doors or get your products to them, whether that may be reviewing your marketing and your advertising. And you are your marketer and your advertiser. So, don't get discouraged if you don't have anyone to do that. That's your job. Mm-hmm. You can utilize those platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. They're all free.
YouTube.
So, yes, YouTube. And those are ways for you to be working and get creative and bring people in, get those products and services sold when things are slow.
Okay. So tell us, what do you have going on right now?
Right now, we are finally selling our tubs of Craven cookie dough. So you can actually order a tub. You can go right to our Craven Cookies Facebook page and place your order. We will ship it right to your house. We have 5 signature flavors. And this week, we're offering the sale for $15. Now, that's 40% off. For this week only, you can get your own tub of Craven Cookies dough. We will ship it right to you. And you can place your order on our Facebook page at Craven Cookies on Facebook.
Thank you very much for sharing that. We're going to slide on over to our next segment, and I know that Sierra's going to be joining us with it. Shay, what you got going on this happy Saturday morning?
Well, as you all know, I talked about last segment. I had a new edge control coming out, and it has finally dropped. It's on the site right now at www.glamorousrebelshairco.com. That's Rebels, REBELS, hairco.com. And I'm really excited about it. We also have some different sales going on the site for wigs and bundles. So I'm really excited for that, especially for my clients that are new to the wig lifestyle. I know a lot of people kind of have been scarred in the past with wigs, especially some of the
you said scarred.
Scarred, okay.
What does that mean,
people,
scarred?
Wigs are different now. The lace is melting. The density and the overall fullness of the wig.
So would you recommend a lace? Would you recommend the what do you call it, the bundles?
If you're just starting off and you need a protective style, your hair is growing, you're growing back out, you had a short pixie haircut and it kind of goes through that little wonky phase there when it's right in between being long and short. And then you also have people that deal with alopecia and things like that. I would always recommend the 5x5 or 4x4 closure wig. That's going to start you off with just learning the basics of dealing with lace.
I like that.
Versus just diving in straight forward with a lace front, ear to ear,
What's
all the way around.
5x5 though?
5x5 is 5 inches wide.
In the top of your head, right?
Long,
in the top of your
That's
head.
how much lace you have to work with. So it's a much more smaller section of lace that you're dealing with. And I'll also say, looking at things that are between 130 and 150 density. Density is how full the hair is going to be. So if you're just starting off getting wigs, you don't want something that's going to be like Beyonce. That's about 200% density. That's flowing.
That's 200% money too.
Yes, that's more expensive. Exactly, it's more expensive. So if you're just starting off, you don't need a full front lace wig that's 200% density. The fullness of the wig and how much lace you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis when you're applying that wig is very important for you to consider when you're buying your very first wig. Because that's going to determine how much work you're putting into it every single morning, and if that's going to be something you can overall handle, So, yes, my wigs, I do provide wigs starting at 130 density all the way up to 200 density, and I have inches ranging from 10 to 26 on hand. If you need anything longer than that, you do have to call me or contact me personally for anything over 26 inches or different color.
Hold on one sec. So you have your own hair that you're telling people?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Next level.
Yes,
Oh.
yes. And it just allows an easier process. I got into it because, I do traditional sew-ins and I do wear wigs. So, you try to cater to those things that your customers are more interested in. And I do have customers that are like, okay, my hair is not as full as I want it to be. What can I do? That is a good step, especially because wigs aren't made the way that they used to now. They used to just kind of sit on top of the head and just sit there, not really giving you much flattery in a lot of different ways. And now, when you have a stylist like myself that actually customizes those wigs for you and is able to cut it and make it where it fits your face, you have more wiggle room. So I just encourage people, don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Because it's new out here. We have different things in the world now, and your average wig ain't so average no more.
Wow, that's good.
I got one. I see you about to ask questions, but I want to ask Sierra a question, right? And this is right after rep. It's not planned. But let me just say, so Sierra, you're busy, right? So you being a busy business owner, you do so much. How do you wear your hair?
So I wear a lot of protective styles, and I love protective styles because I can just get up and go. Sometimes I do a lot of crochet, but I love a good sew-in, and I'm excited to try a wig. But, when Shay was talking, I was really interested in what she was saying because I think I'm a little scared to try a wig because all I think of is like the one that sits on top of your head, and then now I'm thinking about the people with the lace front that's lifting up. And see, I don't got time to be fixing no lace every day. So that's where I'm a little nervous at.
Well, that's why I was suggesting that you do like a 4x4 or a 5x5. 4x4 is obviously like an inch less than the 5x5. So the less amount, and I have U-part wigs as well, so that you can just kind of clip it as well, just like on your hair. You would have some leave out though, but for people who are just trying to do an overall protective style, not worry about any leave out on a day-to-day basis, those 4x4 closures it's a lot less pressure, I will say. And then and all of them come with like a little strap too. What'd you say?
So I have a question. So when you say, you can get the one that doesn't have any leave out, that sounds great. Now, do you take this wig off every day, or does it stay on your head?
Great question.
How does it work?
That's a good question. So I tell people, it's all based off of your preference. I know me personally, I don't really like it to stay on my head all the time. I'm okay if it stays on for like a night or two, but at the end of the day, I'm like, all right, this needs to come up off me. Let's snatch it off. One of the services that I provide people is that if you buy a wig or purchase a wig from me, I show you how to, how to maintain your wig, how to keep up with it. Your first install is going to last you a week, sometimes a week and a half, depending on your activity. If you sweat a lot in the gym, or you're really active, you going swimming or something like that, that's not going to last you. But there are products and tools, just like any hairstyle that you have, whether you have crochet or you have braids or anything like that, sometimes you got to put some mousse on your hair. Sometimes you got to lay your baby hairs down. You can't just walk out the house with no type of preparation whatsoever. So that's not realistic, right? We have to do something.
You can't just wake up and go.
You can't just roll
Pin
out
it up
of the
and
bed.
go.
I mean, we would
That's
love
why
for
we need
that to
air
happen.
control.
Right. Come on. That's why we need that
That's
air
why
control.
you need that air control to lay
Right.
them hairs down.
Yeah.
Okay, them baby hairs or them adult hairs or whatever type of hairs you have. You have to do something in the morning to get yourself together. So I just tell people, just be open to knowing that even if you were to purchase a wig, you still have to factor in at least a little bit of time in your day. At least you're not curling your hair piece by piece.
Come on. Thank you, Lord.
You just worried about, the front of your hair, which we can definitely show you how to do that. And with most of my wigs, they blend right into your scalp anyway. So you don't really have to worry so much about, the glue down and stuff like that. You wear your, your scarves and your bonnets just like you normally would to bed, and that style will last you.
Wow, that's good. I'm big on braids, but you changing my mind about this. Another
Listen,
protective
honey,
style.
I put my little band. I have a bandana that's called a wig melt. So, and that's also coming soon on my site. I have
What's
not
that called?
advertised this well.
Wait a minute.
All these plugs this morning.
Wig melt. So it's a actual strap that goes around your hair that has a Velcro end on it, and you wrap it around the front of your hair at night, or when you're going to the gym, or you're about to leave out, and it helps to melt your lace into your skin, so that way you have a flawless install. So I'm actually working on getting that on my site as well, so stay tuned. But we're trying to make your life easier.
All right.
It's all about, it's all about making your life easier. But what last words do you have for our listeners this morning?
My last words is just be open to transitions throughout your life and throughout your hair journey. Do not get frustrated. There are options out there for you. And if you ever need anything, I'm always here for you, the Glamorous Rebel Hair and Beauty. You can reach me on Facebook at Glamorous Rebels Hair and Beauty. You can also reach me at Glam Rebel Hair X Beauty on Instagram. And I look forward to hearing from you all.
Wow, this has been an amazing show. Thank you, Lachey McKether, the Glamorous Rebel, and Sierra Warren. Thank you, the Master Baker. Thank you so much. This has been an amazing time with you all. I'm so excited about the Millenniums on the Move, and I learned so much from you all. So thank you so much for joining us on Being the Driver's Seat.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate you.
You guys have a great Saturday.
And we'll be right back because we got to finish up our last part of our segment. Did you have something to say, Dr. T? We're about to go out, but Dr. T giving me that look.
Be right back.
We'll be right back. Regina the Queen of Car Loans here with Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. If you're looking to get into a new or used vehicle with affordable rates, I can get you financed today. My lenders are making unheard of deals where others are simply cannot. This month, ladies, I'm hooking you up with hair and makeup from Glamorous Rebel Hair and Beauty in Sterling Heights for the first 10 people who buy a new or used car from me. You'll be riding in style with the Queen, Regina the Queen of Car Loans. Just Google Regina the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Regina the Queen of Car Loans here with Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. If you're looking to get into a new or used vehicle with affordable rates, I can get you financed today. My lenders are making unheard of deals where others simply cannot. This month, the first 10 people who buy a new or used car from me will get a $75 gift card to Times Square Men's Custom Suits on Livernois Avenue. Suits for all occasions. Ride in style with the Queen, Regina the Queen of Car Loans. Just Google Regina the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
We are back to be in the driver's seat, and so we're going to finish up the segment. So, Regina, it was such an awesome segment today.
You know what? I mean, we just, in the break, we got corrected on our, what is it, millennium?
Our terminology.
Terminology.
So the millennials was like, y'all saying millenniums. So
I was saying that.
So, the millennials, they had some great topic. They had a great topic today, and they gave us some good insight. So I hope you all wrote down some things, keeping the momentum when sales are low. So, Brenda,
and edge control.
Wait a minute, y'all. That edge control is it. I can't wait to get me some, okay? But I'm so excited. And Shay even gave us some really good insight about wigs. She changed my thought process about getting a wig.
Because she's a millennium.
She's a millennial.
Millennial. Okay,
Yeah,
millennial.
millennial.
What
Yes.
millennial? Did you, Brenda? Did you know it was millennial or what is it?
No, I just refer to them as the younger generation. I don't try to keep up with all that XYZ, CW.
For you all just coming in on the last part of our show, finishing up, Brenda D. Davis, the realtor that moves you. Daughter is Lachey McCarthy,
the glamorous rebel. The glamorous rebel. So listen, Brenda, they were talking about keeping the momentum when sales are low. What you got to say about that?
Well, I have to tell you that when you're in sales, your business is always going to change. It's going to be up, it's going to be down, it's going to be in between. The markets change, products change. But what you have to do is just persevere. You just have to put your nose down to the grindstone, and you have to seek business perhaps in ways that you hadn't thought about.
Oh, that's good.
And things that you hadn't done before. I know in the real estate business, we started door knocking. You never know who might be interested in selling their home or may know that their neighbor down the street has been talking about it. So, put your tennis shoes on and start knocking on some doors.
Brenda, that's I nowadays people don't even want to get out their car. So now you saying you got to do some door knocking. So you have to have some creative ways to stay abreast when sales get low. Right?
But door knocking can be your neighbors.
And then you also, you have to keep in touch with your sphere of influence. That is so important.
That's good.
You have to remember to contact your relatives, your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers that you're talking to every day. You have to remind them that you're in a particular business, that you have this particular product or whatever available to them. And you have to do that on a regular basis. And this is something that we preach to our newer agents as well as our more seasoned agents. You have to keep in touch with those people because you never know where your business is going to come from.
That's good.
So, you knock on those doors, make those phone calls, still, do your social media thing, send your emails. But even if you want to send out some type of flyer or personalized letter, those kind of things that help you to keep in touch with your customer base. You can never do too much of it.
But I just wanted to say, Regina said it could be your neighbor, right? Mm-hmm. But some neighbors don't know each other. So, wow.
That's true.
So that's so good. Thank you so much, Brenda, for shedding light from the mortgage perspective.
Why did Brenda just pop in? She just, Brenda just popped back in. She gave her wisdom. So we got the young generation wisdom this morning. And then we got the mother perspective.
Yeah, I love
the mother. I was gonna say grandmother, but I don't want to get kicked after this this segment.
Well, I
after
wear
this
that
show.
title very proudly. I have 4 beautiful grandchildren, ranging from the age of 7 to 2 years old, 3 boys and a girl. So that's a title I wear proudly.
Oh, I'm waiting on that title one day.
So you know what? We want to thank you all for listening this week to Be in the Driver's Seat, and you will hear us. Same time, same place, 8:30 to 9:30 every Saturday morning on Detroit Praise Network. And also you can go to our beinthedriverseat.com, Be in the Driver's Seat. Don't forget S is after drivers, and then seat.com, and listen to our show after the fact. So, all right, have a good week.
Have a good week.
Have a good week.
You've been listening to Be in the Driver's Seat with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and mental health expert, Dr. Teresa Moore.
Brought to you by Joe Longhammer Chevrolet of Waterford.
Be in the Driver's Seat, a Saturday morning mix of cars, credit, and wellness created just for you. From Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and Dr. Teresa Moore, thank you for listening.